They say New England winters have long memories, that the cold doesn't just preserve flesh, but also secrets, some buried deep beneath snowdrifts, some still whispering in the pines. This is the tale of Grey Hollow. A village forgotten by maps. A place that no longer exists, except in the crumbling journals of an old church and in the dreams of those who stray too deep into the White Mountains. It was 1864, and the snow had just begun to fall. Grey Hollow sat perched in the high forested ridges of northern New Hampshire, not far from the Canadian border. Nestled between Mount Magalloway and the Connecticut lakes, it was a place few had reason to visit, and even fewer returned from. You wouldn't find it on any modern map, only a dot on a faded 1839 land survey labeled simply G Hollow. The only road in was a wagon trail, overgrown even in its prime, known to freeze solid by early December. The village lay cradled in a valley that saw only 5 hours of winter sun a day. It was said the wind there spoke in circles, that the trees grew too close together, like they were listening. The nearest town was Colebrook, nearly 2 days' ride away in fair weather, and unreachable by sleigh once the first deep snow set in. The people of Grey Hollow lived simple lives. Candles at dusk, hymnals on Sunday, root cellars in winter. The kind of place where people didn't lock their doors, not because they weren't afraid of evil, but because they believed it wouldn't bother with them. Until the stranger arrived. He came on the first snow of December, a tall man in a black wool coat, no horse, no cart, just a small satchel and a walking stick. He called himself Mr. Teague, said he was a surveyor for the rail company, but when Elias Harper, the village scribe, wrote to Boston to verify the claim, he never received a reply. The stranger took a room at the inn above the tavern, paid in gold coins, old Spanish ones. He rarely ate, spoke little. But at night, lights from his room flickered unnaturally, shadows dancing across frosted windows even when no candle burned. Then the oddities began. First, small things. Footprints appeared outside homes, but there were no tracks leading in or away. The church bell tolled at 2 a.m., though the tower was locked tight. The preacher's crucifix cracked, clean down the center during morning prayer. Then came the whispers. Children claimed they heard voices in the trees. One girl said she saw a man made of smoke behind the chapel. On the evening of January 6th, a blizzard moved in, sudden and violent. It buried the village in over 6 feet of snow in a single night. No one could leave, and by dawn, 12 villages were gone. Entire families vanished. Beds unmade, fires still burning in hearths, doors wide open, letting the snow blow in. No blood, no signs of struggle, just absence. The only person left untouched was Mr. Teague. He was found seated in the church pew, facing the altar, calm, waiting. When the townsfolk demanded answers, he simply smiled and said, they chose to follow the voice. The villagers panicked. Some tried to dig their way out. Others packed their belongings and prayed. But the snow kept falling. And that night, Teague vanished too, leaving behind only his walking stick, planted upright in the snow before the chapel door. A search party was organized once the storm broke, but no trace of the missing was ever found. No bodies, no supplies, No footprints. Grey Hollow was abandoned within weeks. Today, Grey Hollow isn't on any map. But if you ask hikers near the Canadian edge of the White Mountains, some say they've heard a bell tolling through the trees in midwinter. Others swear they've seen footprints, 13 in total, leading deep into the forest and then just stopping. Some believe Grey Hollow was once a failed logging village near the Connecticut lakes, one of dozens erased from records after the timber boom collapsed in the 1850s. Others say it never existed at all. But a faded 1839 ledger at the Colebrook Historical Society lists a G Hollow population 31. And the rest is silence.